point program, including the promotion of women, promotion of the youth. We also thought that we should begin discussing the transition as iPods, transiting from the leadership of Mr. Museveni to a new leadership, because this is inevitable. Whatever the NRM says.
Is this part of the major aim as to why iPod was created? Because I saw the former chairman of iPod saying at one time, I wouldn't want to really push him over that, but he was saying that you had benefited, I think, exorbitantly from the resources that are a product of iPod, and you are again defying to be part of the same organization, the same arrangement that had enabled you, if this as a party, to access resources from government.
I think that there is a misunderstanding of that, and I think I would like to state very clearly and straighten the records.
Yeah.
There is a program within iPods.
Yeah.
It is a project, and that project gets funding from DGF, the Democracy Governance Facility. And it is meant to help political parties within iPod to strengthen their structures, to be able to provide training, for the leadership at the national level to reach out to the people, to explain to them certain things related to the work of the party.
The party.
And this includes also revealing to them what may not be clear to them in as far as our constitutions are concerned.
Yeah.
That is a program separate. But the main core function of iPod, and the reason it was set up, is to promote dialogue between political parties, especially those that are represented in parliament. And so the dialoguing is where we are actually failing. And so we are like saying, wait a minute, we need to do something better, because as FDC, we thought, first of all, we should not go into a summit. We have not been to what was supposed to be the two previous summits. To not go to a summit just for the sake of, photo opportunities, for the sake of maybe having opportunity to speak to Mr. Museveni. We said, no, we are not going to do that. If there is a summit to take place where dialoguing is meant to a future, then that should be based on principled dialogue. And we clearly said we are not coming for that summit, because first, we are not operating as a political party.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, you have seen what has happened to our people across the country. When we try to organize, we are stopped. And Ginger, really where you are housed, is a vivid example of the excesses of the regime. That the regime is going to waive a law that they have misread deliberately to us and say, you are violating POMA.
But there is the accusation and the counter-accusation on this issue of POMA and your activities. The other time I saw some people saying, I have read extensively, not the law, but a lot of opinions. And the people are saying that maybe you also do not engage police constructively for that case, like for the recent. I think the second day, I would really I can exonerate you, but when Dr. Besigye was merely going for a radio talk show. But for the first one, they say you are organized, you are function, it was supposed to be in a stadium, but police wasn't informed. And yet you are the sitting chairperson of the iPod.
I think that this ping pong, the police is merely trying to justify its actions, and wrongfully so. Because I will make reference to sections 4 and 5 of the Public Order Management Act that the police intends to apply on us wrongfully. And this is in reference to public meetings. And it's clearly stated that registered political parties
registered political
yes,
parties
in the country will be exempt from this, the conditions of IPOD in respect of public meetings. And so for us, all that we have to do as a political party, and we know that very clearly, is to just inform the police, we are coming to Jinja for this purpose. We are going to be in such and such a place, and we'll be talking to the entire public.
Just that.
Yes, that is our responsibility. That we have religiously done. Every time that we have an activity, like the current activity.
I love that. You have done that religiously, not politically.
No, religiously. Every time that we have had intended to go out, like in this case of the celebration of our 15 years, FDC at 15, we've been to the east, we've been to the west so far, we are coming to the center, and we'll be in the north very soon. We have written to the police and said, this is the purpose of our activities. We are just informing you to provide security. Now, instead of providing security, the police comes, batters our people. We have people who are sick. In Jinja, some were hospitalized after being beaten, after being, put in Alfenya. In Soroti, you saw the brutality of the police meted against one of our members. That is what we were able to capture on camera. But there are many other incidents that have taken place recently in Kabale, in Ruchiga, in Ntungamo. We had engagements between our supporters and police. There is somebody today who is going for a scan in Mbarara because he was battered on the head and is suspected he has a clot on the head. But, I want to assure our supporters that this kind of excesses by the police will be checked. We are proceeding to prosecute, to cause prosecution of individual police officers whom we have caught on camera, whom we have evidence to adduce against, and they are going to have their day in court.
Now, is that part of the evidence you are taking to the ICC, or now this is another prosecution down here?
If the court, the local court, fails to handle it, then it will be a case of, part of the evidence going to the ICC. But, with the ICC, we have overwhelming evidence, volumes and volumes of evidence that we have collected. And I want to assure the public we are good to go on Museveni and his cronies, those who have misused power in this country, those who have violated the rights of our people, those who have caused pain.
There is another school of engineer. There is another school of thought among other political analysts saying that this kind of approach that the FDC constantly uses to engage the ruling government is itself a threat to the people in power. That when you tell them that we are going to take you on, you instead threaten them to leave power. That they get more, they sit every other day to get more entrenched. I think I have heard that the late Professor Nsibambi, the professor of political science, was saying that the amount of the aggressiveness of some members and some leaders in FDC itself is a threat to the powers that be, that they cannot risk relinquish power to you people.
Enoch, justice is one of the tenets of a good democratic country. And this is what we want to advance. It can be extremely unfortunate if people commit offenses against human beings and they go scot-free. There is an option that we have offered in advancing the idea of a truth and reconciliation, justice and reconciliation commission, that we do things like the South Africans did. This can also be negotiated.
But I have heard that time and again. I don't even think I have heard you say the same in Parliament, but I don't see the political class buying that. Are you reading do you believe you are reading from the same script?
For us, we are FDC. And we have got our approach to situations.
Yeah.
We think that in this country it is possible for forgiveness to happen.
Yeah.
Only if those who offended, the marginalized and the downtrodden, accept. It has worked elsewhere that a country sits down and says, we have wronged each other. It is possible that even within the FDC, there are people who have wronged the people of Uganda.
Yeah.
And so we can say all of us have sinned and fallen short of glory. And therefore, let's talk to each other. Who offended the other one? And how did they do that? Is the offended person prepared to forgive so that the country moves forward? And that is why we think that this country should go through a transition. There's been a lot of distortions that have happened in the 34 years of Yoweri Museveni. It's now 34. This is the 35th year. We have entered into.
He has started on another project.
Well, I don't know what that project is. He has too many projects. There is life presidency, there is a succession by a member of the family, there is enrichment of a certain section of people.
In the country.
While some people in the country are getting richer and richer, the people of Busoga and the eastern part of the country and the north are wallowing in poverty. So, he has so many schemes that he is involved in. So, I think maybe we can discuss scheme by scheme in another occasion.
In another occasion.
But, what I am driving at is our going to the ICC is an attempt to say, look, we have failed elsewhere. And if the people we intend to take to the ICC really thought about this country, they should be capable of saying, well, what is your complaint? Can you come and we have a discussion? And we are prepared to do that. We are prepared to dialogue with them and say, for us, we feel offended because of A, B, C, Z. And then we begin to work out a way around, getting an amicable solution to the impasse that exists between us and them.
Yeah, I think we have to go for a short break. We shall be back. Thank you.
Enoni Baba TV obusoga bulaire. Excellence comes from going to the right institution. They said you're a dreamer. We believe you're a professional in clinical medicine. They simply said you're ambitious. We believe you have uncovered potential in medical laboratory. They said you're not realistic. We know you're the best in records and information management. We know you can excel in nursing and midwifery and pharmacy, adding life to your potential. So enroll with us today and get your career started. Interviews for the July 2020 intake start on 7th March 2020, both at our Kampala office and Iganga campus. For more information, call us on 0772 460 130. Lubega Institute of Nursing and Health Professionals, nurturing professional excellence.
Nisa hair removal cream akulongosa bulungi nga takuochicha takuleteire bulumi wairo kubutuka alimu aloe vera awoni omubiri okwirugala olwaboneka bulungi. Nisa hair removal cream akuwoni okukozesa obumwero buli kiseera ate nga akola buli kutika kya mubiri. Nisa hair removal cream wanusulu kumirunka. Nisa hair removal cream hair removal cream ayaganibwa mu maduuka gona mu Iwanga.
Mwanange ndi musanyufu nnyo muwala ogenda kufumbirwa.
Nungi engoye zo ate nga wa bbeeyi nnungi ddala.
Goba obwavu obutamanya n'embeera embi nga weeyunga ku kitongole kya The Answer Foundation bali bugembe ku luguudo wa Nyama Road okulyana amaka ga Ssentebe Sekandi omusomi eyamaliriza ekyomusanvu siniya eyokuna oba ey'omukaaga nga kw'otadde abataasoma kugenda wala. Mujje mubangulibwe mu masomo ag'enjawulo omuli okuyiga okusiba enviiri buli musono n'okukola ku nsonga ez'abagole, okuvuga mmotoka buli kika, okutunga ekyalaani ne fashions ez'engoye ez'enjawulo, okanika mmotoka buli kika, okusoma eby'amasannyalaze, okuyiga kompyuta, okufumba okw'enjawulo catering, okanika TV, radio, amasimu n'ebirala nga kw'otadde okutendekebwa mu ssomo lya journalism. Ebisulo weebiri bya bwereere ate buli muyizi azze ku The Answer Foundation osalirwako ebitundu 5 ku buli 100. Okumanya ebisingawo yogerako ne dayirekita ku 075 0 79 35. The Answer Foundation.
Eno n'ensengeka ya program ku Baba TV
ekutuusibwaku jangu ku DK Households mu kibuga ky'Ejjinja obeere n'amaka agamasaamasa.
Eno n'ensengeka ya program ku Baba TV
ekutuusibwaku jangu ku DK Households mu kibuga ky'Ejjinja obeere n'amaka agamasaamasa. Okumanya ebisingawo osobola okuba ku 0702 93 11 75.
Eno ni Baba TV obusoga bulayire.
Yes, mukago omulungi ali ku Baba TV nkwaniriza. Ninze Enoka Wandera ngabuli.kaini engineer Patrick Amuriat ononga ni president wa FDC ali kubuti eranga mukulembeze wa iPod ni chairman wa Interparty Political Organizations Dialogue. Yali kanti dialogue is failing. Tutyobo tuli kutambula tuli kulingirira Iwanga kobere bijja maiso mu FDC bibali kola era tujja kulingirira kubiki ebiri kwiririra mu kalulu akali kwira. Engineer, before we go into the issue of the forthcoming elections, I was here with the deputy government spokesperson, and he really downplayed, or he not downplayed, but he gave his opinion, I believe, on the issue of the ICC. He said the ICC can only intervene when the prosecutor, for that matter, Lady Basoda herself initiates the process of prosecution, or when a sitting government itself refers a matter to the ICC, or the third one was when the UN Security Council intervenes and makes a resolution that there is this, it's been a gross violation of human rights, and the ICC must really get interested into it and investigate. And therefore, it suggests that your 2 million signatures may not be required and may not work. What's your take on that?
The deputy spokesperson is Colonel Bantariza?
Yes, Shaban.
Shaban. I think he's right and wrong at the same time.
Sure.
On some aspects of the UN and the prosecutor, he is right. But I think he needs also to read the protocols of the ICC carefully. Yeah. Because therein, a section of the population is allowed to appeal to the prosecutor.
Not a politically charged section, or
we are by the way, yeah. This is not an FDC petition.
Yeah.
It's a petition of the people of Uganda. It is only that it's the people's government that is taking a lead in this.
Yeah.
Say, come along, people of Uganda. We have got a grievance that we want to take to the ICC. This grievance is about gross violation of human rights.
Yeah.
And so here is the evidence. And we go to those communities that have been offended, like the community in Kasese, for example, where people were brutally murdered. In fact, I was talking to one of the leaders from Kasese, and he told me more than 600 people actually were killed. That is the record that they have. Some of them the bodies were thrown into the Kazinga Channel, some of them in the Semliki, the others were eaten by wild animals in the park.
Can the government do that?
Well, if they are thrown away to try to cover evidence, by the way, government tried to conceal evidence. We are only lucky that a journalist was handy in recording some of the pieces of evidence that we are now going to use. You remember that your colleague, that journalist based in based in Kenya, I don't remember her name.
Bira.
Yes, Bira, exactly.
Worked with her.
Yes.
I was starting journalism 10 years ago.
Yeah, you see, a very stunning revelation by that lady. And this is all on record. That lady was arrested, and I think she was even tortured, and it took a lot of intervention from even the international community to have her released.
Yeah.
And taken to safety. So we are saying, the people of Uganda are saying, we have been offended. There is no court in Uganda that we can take our matter so that the culprits are prosecuted.
But
you know that.
Honorable Engineer Patrick Amuriat and FDC President, there is already an ongoing process of the national dialogue. It's on course, and I believe you have embraced it as FDC.
The national dialogue process, we have reservations on it. We have reservations, and we stated our reservations in writing to the Interreligious Council of Uganda and the Elders Forum of Uganda. We visited them twice, and we had candid discussions with them. And we said, we can't get involved in this dialogue because it ignores the very core of the problems of Uganda, the political question. That needs to be answered before you begin talking about the economy, before you even talk about human rights, family values, before
implementation.
Yes, corruption. Yes. You need to address the political question, and they deferred from us. And so we said, okay, you can go your way, we will go our way. Now, going back to the ICC, what are we going to do? Our appeal is not to the chamber itself. It will go to the prosecutor. And if the prosecutor finds merit in our case, then the prosecutor will find reason to proceed with the prosecution. So all we are doing as the people of Uganda, not necessarily as FDC, because this cuts across, all political parties, is to raise the red flag and to say, look, we, the people of Uganda, have been offended, and we have been offended this way. The court in Uganda cannot prosecute the president. You know that very well.
But you, as FDC, you have dragged him to court twice.
Well, that is as a candidate.
As a candidate.
Yes, so for Museveni, we don't drag him, to court as
you
president.
You always drag the candidate.
Yes, even Mbabazi did drag the candidate Museveni, not the president.
Not the president.
Because it's an electoral petition. And so those people are looking for redress. And I think rightly so. But as I said, should the people in power today realize that there is a problem in Uganda that requires a discussion. For us, as the FDC, I speak for the FDC, we are prepared for such dialogue.
But you have the iPod. It's to me, it's I believe all is not lost. You are now the chairperson of the iPod.
iPod falls short of.
But when you say iPod falls short of those standards, and you are the chairman,
I will explain this.
What do you mean exactly?
Because my being chairman does not change the character of Mao, not even the character of Akena, or his UPC, or my friend in Jema Basal, or even Mr. Museveni. And I think we can be exonerated as the FDC, because last year there was an attempt to have a summit. You know how it ended. Mr. Museveni.
You boycotted.
Even those who went, Mr. Museveni addressed them directly. He said, stop wasting time talking about succession. Where am I going? You see? So the tone used is something that is repulsive. It is
so
not
that one waters down all the good ideas of all these honorable men involved in this.
It is not the tone that should be used by one of the partners to this dialogue. And it shows that we go into this dialogue not as equal partners, but you know, as
but I already saw them seated on the same.
Doesn't matter. They can even sit above him, but that is meaningless.
When he's down,
yes. That is meaningless. And so in the second dialogue, the summit, what emerged was there were promises given in the first dialogue. Even to increase funding to political parties. You remember this very well. What has happened since then is a reduction in funding to political parties, you know, of about 20–30%. You know, money reduced. The money that comes, in fact, 40% of the money that comes to political parties has been slashed. And therefore it contradicts. Whereas you agree on a certain position, you know, at the end of the day,
there are more cuts than the increases that you had negotiated.
The second summit, and I sympathize with my brothers and sisters, who sat in a hotel
for a whole day.
You know, from 8 o'clock to 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and you know, Mr. Museveni walks in and is not apologetic. He said, you know, for us in the bush, we never sat in such comfortable, air-conditioned rooms. You know, I even fell short of saying you have even been fed well. You know, it's being uncouth, being disrespectful of the other parties in the discussion, that a whole president of a party would sit for the whole day as if they had nothing doers, only to be insulted at the end of the day. I think FDC would not accept that. If I went into that meeting, 1 hour would have been enough, and I would have left. Because I don't work for Museveni. I don't work for NRM.
You work for
I work for FDC and the people of Uganda.
Anyway, far from that, we are going into 2021. This is basically an election year. Electioneering has started. There have been a lot of attempts and, should I say, counter attempts, and been a lot of suggestions that you are looking at as opposition. You are negotiating to have a joint candidate. If I ask you, how far are the negotiations for this?
Well, there have not been any talks yet. What I know is that we are working with the Conservative Party of John Ken Luchamzi, the man, and also pressure group of Elias Lukwago, the Lord Mayor of Kampala, the Justice Forum, under the auspices of the People's Government. So yes, we are already cooperating with those groups. But that said, I think when we look at the other groups, we are not reading from the same page.
You even have your own baby that you just birthed recently.
Which one is that one now?
You have a baby.
Now that baby that left us, that we gave birth to. You know, of course, you are referring to the Alliance for National Transformation of General Muntu. It was born out of acrimony, arising from the elections of 2017, November 24th. And also...
When you gave him a bloody nose,
well,
he had
no,
to
I
leave.
think we were all winners. According to me,
you were all winners.
There was no loser in that contest. Because
but you imagine the president who took
At
office,
the end of the day,
and he did not take office.
The FDC
he handed
triumphed.
over.
The FDC triumphed.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, he was my leader. And it would only just be normal for me to be his leader now.
His leader as well.
It is, yes, it's only normal. Only that he and a section of our members, including some of our founder members, decided to go away, claiming that they couldn't work with us because we did not agree on the strategy of how to go about our politics.
Yeah.
And at the time, I said to him, if that is the only bone of contention,
yeah,
then come, let's have a discussion. But they will not listen to.
But have you reached out?
Well, long ago. It's now quite.
Forget those days before they announced the new formation.
Yes,
but now they are on home. You are now supposed to go and say, sit together at the same level as now principals and say, can we work together? Have you reached out?
Well, until we realize that they agree with us on the strategy.
Yeah.
Because by the way, when you choose to work together, you need to agree on how to work together.
Yeah.
Now, he told us that upon his departure, that he did not agree on our methods of work.
Yeah.
And so it's really, upon us to realize whether he now agrees with our methods of work,
okay,
for us to be able to work.
In
any case, that being the only reason, then there will be no reason for them to rejoin FDC.
Okay.
You see? They should then rejoin the FDC because if our point of departure has now turned into a point of convergence, we should now be able to work together, let them come back and rejoin FDC. But talking about the other political groups,
yeah,
the other political parties, we find that, a number of them have got to put their houses in order.
What do you mean exactly?
We have had our internal tensions, which we've dealt with. And I think I would like to say to the FDC members watching that you now have a party. You have a party to be proud about.
Do you still believe FDC
under my leadership,
is a sound?
Under my leadership, the party has stabilized. And you can see how
after purging,
yes,
after purging here and there, you come with an iron hand and put it.
Well, somehow we had to bring order, into the house. And so when you have to bring order in the house,
yeah,
sometimes you step on people's toes, you hurt others, you do certain things that people do not like,
yeah,
as individuals. But so long as it is for the common good of the membership of the party, we have to do it.
You had a massive, what should I say, massive departure of almost 90% of all the MPs. No, members of parliament.
No. As far as I'm concerned, by the way, Enoch, I haven't heard any member of parliament who has officially left the party. We are waiting.
They are waiting to complete their term of office because they know the implication, which I believe you know.
Yes.
Legally, you have been a member of parliament for more than 10 years.
15.
15 years.
Therefore, it is too early for us to even say so-and-so has left. For me, as their leader, I consider all of them members of my party.
But yet there was recently some suggestions in the media that the SG of FDC, the Honorable Nandala Mafabi, was suggesting that some people who have not really done what they are supposed to do, they must be prosecuted.
Yeah, that is administrative.
They have faulted on it.
That is not to say that they have been dismissed from the party.
Far from it,
we are saying you should live to your obligations. Live up to your obligations.
Okay.
If you are not subscribing in terms of remittances of money, monthly remittances, that you promise to do, then you are offending the constitution of the FDC. And so we are not going to allow you to do that. We are going to bring you to order. So this is like bringing our friends to order. But by and large, the party is stable. And talking to the other political groups, as I say,
for a joint candidate,
we are thinking that we should, first of all, the constituent, the groups that we may want to talk with should get organized.
But in the event that they are not organized, all the people of Uganda want is to have a joint candidate to take on the only bull I think they look at in the crowd. Now, as of now, I believe the roadmap of FDC is already out.
No, we will.
I see some, even yesterday I saw somebody on our TV. Is it Yamugisha was trying to look to consult for his presidential. You seem to be very dragging. You are saying the party is in order, he has stabilized, but there is somebody who I see as if the party is saying disowning, but he's saying he's FDC and he's reaching out to
well,
the
as far as we are concerned, no activity related to presidential flag bearer elections have commenced within the party.
Oh, you have ring fenced?
No. By the way,
the solo candidate bag is hitting FDC as well.
The solo candidate sickness is a chronic sickness within the NRM.
Not within the
It will never be treated. For us, we are a proud political party that pride in our democratic credentials. You know that we, in our 15 years of existence, we have changed the top leadership. Now, twice. We had our first president, then the second president, Mutu, I'm the third president, and we'll go on that path. We can never be faulted on not upholding democratic principles. We do hold democratic.
Do you see a joint candidate in the making, or you may end up going as again individual parties?
We will make attempts. We have had a history. You know that.
I saw what happened in TDA.
We had first of all the IPC.
Yeah.
We went to Kololo to sign up. The Democratic Party jumped out. When we went to the TDA, there were monkey tricks being played against the FDC. We said we are going to move with caution. We are not going to put the life of the FDC on the line. And so when we realized that our partners in the discussion in the TDA were unwilling to listen to us, we said, well, let's go it by ourselves. And we did. And you know what it resulted into. We won the election of 2016. Babazi, who seemed to be now the joint candidate of what was left of the TDA, was humiliated. He couldn't go beyond 2%. But significantly, some of the parties to the discussion in the TDA are in Museveni's stomach now.
Stomach?
Yes, they thought they would ride a tiger. They found themselves in the gut.
They have been swallowed.
Yes, look at Betty Kamia. Where is she? She's in the back pocket of Museveni. Bukenya, immediately after the TDA, Professor Gilbert Bukenya.
Did he even allow the negotiation is to conclude before jumping on?
Yes, he just randomly said, I have gone back to NRM. You also see what is happening to Mbabazi. Although it's not easy to speculate, we can see the body language showing that his legs are facing NRM.
He's been meeting the head of state. Mbabazi is a Ugandan like you. You can still meet Mr. Museveni.
Yeah, but I think
what's wrong with that?
What the people of Uganda would want to know is what is in those discussions.
They are private.
You can't live this.
He said I'm friends with him.
Well, they should say that. They should say that very clearly. And their friendship, whether it is related to politics, of course there are speculations that he might be back, but let's give him a benefit of doubt.
But by and large, as we conclude, we have 2 minutes to go. We have seen people running from FDC to NRM, DP to NRM, from FDC to People Power, from NRM to People Power, then from NRM People Power, then saying I can't. What do you make of the quality of leaders that we have in this country?
They are for sale, most of them. I think that's the dilemma of our politics.
For
today.
sale?
Yes. You find somebody going to State House, and when People Power asks him, what were you doing there? He said, I went to demand my money. And you know, I worked for
they are suppliers.
Yeah, you know, somebody from the north, I think, called Boss Mikotin, who was a people power coordinator in the north, decides to come to State House. And when asked, he said, I came to demand my money. I worked for Museveni. 300 million is what I'm demanding. The next day, he's seen performing in a function of the NRM, dressed in full yellow attire, you know, from top to bottom.
He's been paid this money.
That you now begin to guess.
And the yellow is a national color.
Well,
one of these days, I want to see you in a yellow shirt.
Well, I don't know whether that will happen.
If you know the Ugandan flag.
Even if I died today,
yeah,
and they put yellow on me, I would actually refuse to put on that yellow.
Sure.
That is how serious it is. Until that yellow, you know, determines that they have mismanaged this country and that they should embrace everybody to move this country forward.
Because finally, as you say that leaders are for sale, can't they move? I have seen people saying they have seen the light, the likes of the current state minister for environment, Anywa. She's too principled. Can she be for sale already?
Well, you can see what is now happening. She has been rewarded for leaving the FDC with the Ministry of Environment. Even a blind person can see this. And you know, there is nothing wrong with anybody moving from one political party to another. But that should be on the basis of principle.
How you move also matters.
Yes. If you are moving because you've been given a brown envelope, then you are not a politician worth your salt. If you are moving because you have fundamental disagreements with your mother party that cannot be resolved, and mark you, cannot be resolved, then anybody will treat you seriously. But if you are going to look for greener pastures elsewhere, then you are a political prostitute. That is how we would term you.
Finally, as you conclude.
Yes, to viewers, the FDC is rolling on. We are going to put pressure on the regime to bring electoral reforms as a matter of priority, to be able to tell us why they have not respected the orders of court. There are orders that were given during the ruling of the petition by the Supreme Court, which have not been implemented. We are going to put pressure on the regime for us to have an electoral commission that can be trusted. Not this one here that belongs to one of the players. We are going to go into the election as a way to progress our struggle. But as of now, we will continue struggling, and the struggle is on. We are going to every corner and twist of this country, advancing the cause of the Ugandan people. And we'll do this by defiance. We are not going to wait for the police, you know, to say you can do this or you cannot do that. We will go and do this by defiance. But I wish to thank the management of Baba TV for finding it worthy inviting me to this show. We will continue engaging the public. We believe that change is about to come in this country because the people of Uganda have embraced our message. That is a message of change.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Bakagwa abalungi tutyo bwe tutambwire. President wa FDC tujja kufubanga okumunonya buli mwezi paka aide abakobere ebiri mu FDC. Akuma takumira mpera.